As the country battles with gender-based violence, a campaign has been launched to educate boys about the issue. The collaboration taking place between Prime Stars and the Youth Start Foundation. It's aimed at leading to behavioural change. We're joined in studio now by actor Wandile Molebatsi and producer Uyathandwa Faltein. Good evening to both of you. Thank you so much for your time. So tell us a little bit more about this program that you guys have been involved in.
First of all, the program is an interlink trying to find the power, the main switch, where we're trying to switch off where the problem comes from in GBV, in masculinity cultures in schools, trying to be there for queer bodies because it's very hard, and I must say I'm really proud at the rate it's going.
And you?
I think for me it was really just an opportunity to put my hand up as a filmmaker to say that, look, we've got a war that's raging against the women and children. And what we need to do is actively do things in our different spaces to address the challenge that we have and the pandemic of GBVF. And really, What About the Boys was such an exciting program because it allows us to use story to have teachable moments that actually encourages young boys to address some kind of ideas of toxic masculinity, how we see women, and indeed how we engage with our own masculinity as men.
Often when we're having conversations about gender-based violence, it's easy for them to happen in private spaces where I know I can say whatever's on my mind and I don't ever have to deal with those comments being heard or, you know, getting reaction or having opinion from people on the outside. When it's a process of story making, it can be quite difficult to get people to being in a position where they're vulnerable enough and understand that their views, whichever they are, that they held at the time, are going to be broadcast to whoever is going to see this work.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we really were lucky to get such an incredible cast because communicating a story like this is never easy, and you have to go to quite dark places. We have to go to ideas of masculinities within the home, how young boys treat girls at a school setting, and communicating that in a way that's, one, relatable, but also resonates so it feels truthful was very important. You know, it's always very easy to have a didactic piece of content that's like, don't do this, don't do that. And what Uyathandwa and the team did is that they conveyed a story, first and foremost, and that's really what's touched a lot of the boys around the country.
How did you use it to teach?
The transition from being Uyathandwa and being Joey was not really that different. It's something that I experienced in real life. So it was a great platform for me to actually educate the outgrowing queers and the boys out there that we are also human. We are meant to live authentically, and one day the future awaits for our command. So being part of the movie for me was a great step to success, opening doors, because I have people coming to me asking how can I get into the industry as the person that I am, coming out of the closet. And all you need to tell them is live authentically and embrace yourself.
What have you found to be the challenges along the way in your journey? Because I'm talking to you today, you look amazing and you're like, I'm on my way to stardom, you know, don't sleep on me. But I don't imagine this was always the case.
It was never always the case. I think when I got the movie, like when I got cast for the movie, I had a moment where I was triggered. I was like, I've been in this position before. Now I have to act it out in front of the whole nation. And how are other people that don't know me going to react to this? Because I know at home it was not a problem, but I was always scared to be seen for who I am. So I decided, let me embrace this moment. Let me have the limelight. I'm the Chopin of the spot. Sorry, let's do this.
So what is then #DoBetter?
#DoBetter is actually part of a bigger program that is pinned to What About the Boys. And what we're trying to do and what we're doing with Prime Stars is that ultimately the program has 4 pillars. So the first pillar is the film itself, where we actually show characters that engage in real life. So they're young boys who are in a rugby team, and they obviously have, you know, the typical male quirks about girls, and they've got those moments. There's a great storyline between Joey and a character called Donald, who's sort of in the closet and not sure how to come out of it. There's a character called Ryan, whose father's abusive, and there's a character called Tabelo, who's sort of like the ladies' man and gets all the girls, you know, and he has to learn how to behave around women. But #DoBetter is kind of a bigger movement, which is really about getting young men and men to understand that gender-based violence needs to stop with us, first and foremost. And the Do Better movement is not about doing better just around GBV, but doing better as South Africans. That as men, we need to start taking care of what we have and taking care of and being the custodians of a truly happy and beneficial society. And that's really what Do Better is about.
How's the rollout of this program taking place so far? Especially, I imagine there might be people who are thinking, well, when is this coming to our school? Because we also want something that can help us have these conversations.
Absolutely. And I think what's been great about the partnership or working with the Prime Stars team is that it started off with screenings in cinemas around the country. So far we've shown the film to about 500,000 boys. And the idea is that we're going to branch out outside of the cinemas and start actually having pop-ups at schools. And a great pillar that's a part of the What About the Boys program is something called mentors. So what we will do is that we go and we show the film, but after the film is what's really important, where we hand out a book where young men fill in books and they make a pledge, which is called the Do Better Pledge, where they say, look, as a young man, I'm going to do the following 12 steps. And as they talk about the 12 steps, we then get the mentors to just engage with them about how do you feel about South Africa? Where do you feel that you fit in as a young man? How do you feel that you've maybe perpetrated gender-based violence, and how do you see yourself changing? So one of the ways that we really want people to get out there is to engage with the Do Better platform on social media, but also engage with the Prime Stars digital website. Like, ask us to come to your schools. The cast have already done a few screenings, and we really want to roll it out beyond 16 days, because for us, the pandemic is real. And it's not just about the 16 days, it's actually a 365-day program that we want to roll out.
Uyathandwa, what have you found to have surprised you the most about being on this journey? I'm sure you had your own fears, concerns about what would happen.
I had. Honestly, the reception that I got after the film came out was different from what I've thought. Because normally when such movies take place, there's always like a lot of controversies. Twitter, people want to attack you in real life. But I was actually applauded for being part of the movie and telling my story, which is actually my story in real life as well. It was a great opportunity, I must say.
And I suppose it's reaffirmed to you that there's power in being able to tell your story and own your story.
You can tell your story in many ways. I was given the platform to showcase all my talents, dancing, acting, everything. And just the person that I am.
Oh, and there's also a hashtag Do Better Dance Step, you know, and we partnered up with an artist called Morena the Squire. And so he's actually made Uzobanjalo song. So there's a theme track, and there's a 360 approach to this behavioral change that Prime Stars is rolling out, which is really exciting.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. Congratulations on the work that you guys are doing so far. Hopefully, I'll be able to see this movie as well, and I can see the fabulosity of Uyathandwa in it. Uyathandwa in it. But really, congratulations on this program, because we certainly need more and more 100%. Awareness raised and more conversations being had, honest and authentic conversations. That's the only way we're going to move the country forward. And so we leave it with Wandile Molebatsi, who is an actor. Uyathandwa Faltein is a producer.